Now let's travel to the desert of Jordan and to a Roman castrum. It's in an isolated location 50 miles south of modern-day Amman. It's Qasr Bashir, and so much of it has been preserved. The stones have not been robbed out because, as in antiquity, as today, it's in a rather isolated location far from any urban development. It's 50 meters on a side, basically a square, and it was a castrum used for surveillance with a cavalry unit of the Limitani, up to 60 people with stables and barracks protecting this portion of the empire. The inscription dates the site to the reign of Diocletian. And after its abandonment in late antiquity, basically no one came back here. And so we have just impressive remains of this castrum, one of the best preserved castrum structures from the entire Roman Empire. The towers are in place, the gates in place with the original inscription. It's still impressive today.
It's not the biggest fort, but it's on the edge of the Roman Empire, guarding that border, dealing with the caravan traffic.
Now let's travel to Lebanon, to the sanctuary of ancient Baalbek of Heliopolis. It's one of the greatest sanctuaries from the ancient world. And most of what we see today is of Roman date. And truly, the standout feature here is the so-called Temple of Bacchus, which is largely intact, with its columns, coffers, and interior cella lined with columns, truly extraordinary. We think constructed in the reign of Antonius Pius. It's 66 meters long, 35 meters wide, and a full height of 31 meters is preserved. This sanctuary and this monument remained intact and well preserved, but this site starts to get sacked from the 7th century and onward and raided over subsequent centuries. Now let's travel to Turkey, to Istanbul, ancient Constantinople, and the Hagia Sophia, built by Justinian between 532 and 537. It's one of the greatest dome structures still standing. Now, it suffered a lot of earthquake damage. In fact, the original vault, built by Justinian, had to be rebuilt, and today we see its interior height of over 55 meters. It's later converted into a mosque in 1453 under Sultan Mehmed II, thereby preserving this glorious monument, this amazing Roman building. Now let's travel to Greece and to Athens and the Odeon, the music hall built in 161 by Herodes Atticus in memory of his wife Ennia Regilia. That was used as a venue for music concerts. Originally, it was roofed over with a timber roof with a capacity for 5,000 spectators, and it was in use all the way until its destruction in 267. There's been some heavy restoration of the stage building. It's still in use for concerts today. Now let's travel to Diocletian's palace in Croatia, to the modern-day city of Split. Diocletian retired near his birthplace Salona, and he built this fortified villa at the end of the 3rd century AD, a seaside residence, and also included his mausoleum. And the thing is, we have most of it still today, as it became the core of the city of Split, which was founded inside the remains in the 7th century. We have the walls largely intact, roughly 200 meters by 175 meters, and the core of it, this vestibule right here, is intact. Next to it, the mausoleum of Diocletian, later converted into the church of the local saint, Domnius. So it's an impressive ruin that we can admire on multiple levels. And of course, we see right here in the center that changeover from the vestibule space of Diocletian into this impressive church of Domnius, which was originally the mausoleum of the Emperor Diocletian. And there's so much more in this site that we can admire, including this temple of Jupiter, intact on the exterior, as well as the interior vaulting. And the reason why we can admire so much of it is because it was converted into the baptistry for that local church of Domnius. It's an absolute miracle that we have so many components of the Villa of Diocletian. Finally, let's travel to Germany, to Trier, the ancient city of Augusta Treverorum, the western capital of the late Empire. And here we have so much built in the reigns of Constantius Chlorus and Constantine the Great, including this large hall, built between 300 and 310. You're going to have a palace in the western capital, you're going to have a large hall, and this one is of monster dimensions. It's like having two curias from the Roman Forum, 67 meters long, a width of over 26 meters, and a height of 33 meters. In the Middle Ages, it became part of the Bishop of Trier's residence, and ultimately we have it because it's been converted into a church. There you have it, some of the greatest Roman buildings from around the Roman Empire. We have many well-preserved buildings and monuments to share in another video. Please watch our weekly videos on ancient Rome and our live stream videos on countless topics on the history of ancient Rome. Thanks for watching and subscribing.